Alright, so what are we doing? Well, we're down here at the little regenerative ag experimental testing grounds that I have, and we'll kind of give you guys a walkthrough of what's gone on. So I haven't done really anything with this plot other than set it up this year. Just stuff, you know, life happened and we didn't get stuff done, and life's still happening and I'm still not getting to where I want to be with it, but we're getting somewhere. We're down here today to kind of tinker with it before it gets dark. You can see the corn still standing. The combine broke down right after I got done with beans, so I haven't got my corn out yet, but got the beans done. They did about 30 bushel to the acre, which ain't too bad for me, I guess. But this row of corn here, so this is the first row in the test plot. There's 3 rows, we'll say, to a field, and there's 6 fields, I guess you wanna, would be an easy way to break it down. There's 18 strips, 14 foot wide. The corn rows quite aren't 14 foot wide because they're just 4 rows, but, and then we got a 10 to 12 foot buffer strip here between my place and the neighbors, because he broadcasts his rye, and when I put wheat down here, he broadcasted over into my wheat, and I had a good strip of rye wheat mixture that I used for chicken feed. But I plan on planting this to a wildflower mix next year, or something along the sort, something for the bees. But this is just kind of a buffer we'll use, and when I eventually do get livestock into it, we can use it as a runway. But if you remember, this corn was my twin row corn, my hillbilly twin row corn. You can kind of see here my hands between 2 stalks. Man, why are we so zoomed in? We're really zoomed in, but it didn't do very well at all. I mean, you can see these, whoops, cute little ears. This corn needs to come off in a bad way. These cute little guys. This was planted at like 50 something thousand population because I didn't do it right, but that is what it is. It still made corn, but it didn't do great. The 3 corn strips all got manure. That was all that they got for fertilizer, nothing else. And the other rows didn't do too bad either. The beans didn't get anything, they got sprayed. Now this would be a forage strip, and it was just left fallow this year. And what we're gonna do is this would be, everything moves over 1 row, so this will be corn next year. That'll be forage strip, and the corn will be beans. And then the next 9 rows over that way, I had oats in instead of corn to small grain stuff. And the oats, they got too weedy. I combined them, and I'm going to use the little bit that I got. I got a 55 gallon drum and then a 35 gallon drum worth of oats, and I'm going to use those as a nurse crop for the hay crop that we'll plant on the ends of the field. So, but here's just the regular corn, not twin rows or nothing crazy, and the ears are a little bit bigger. They're just breaking off. That's going to be fun to combine. We'll just take that and feed it to the goats. And this, all this got cultivated once. Didn't do very good. Didn't get sprayed or nothing. And then here's the other row of corn. And it's the same deal as the last row. Just planted, I can't remember what I planted at, 26,000? I think's what I planted at, and all the stalks, or the shucks, are coming open, and Corn's starting to bleach out and fade. And this is conventional corn. This is my first time planting conventional corn. Probably the last for a little while. And then over here, throw this on the truck. Over here, this was a strip of oats. I mowed everything after I got the oats off because there was a lot of weeds. And now there's a lot of oats coming back. Here's a group of oats that come back. And then that strip over there, they came back. The guy that rents the ground at Mom and Dad's, he come and spread some manure on these strips for me over here. He had some he wanted to get rid of, so I let him spread it on the strips that had the oats, and then he also put it in the forage strips over here, a couple of them, because the forage strips will be oats next year. And then that's my field of corn there, and I'm not looking to get very much corn off of there. It didn't do very good at all. I'd say maybe about 75% of the field put ears on. The rest didn't. So that's an issue. But what we're going to do today is I brought a little seeder with me and a bag of rye, and we are going to broadcast rye into what will be next year's bean plots. What I'm going to do is, I think the first strip, that's going to be like my control. We won't do any crazy stuff on that, try anything on that. We'll just plant those the same way we would plant anything else. Not do it conventionally, still do it, you know, how we would do it if we were going to no-till it. Everything else we would no-till that. If we put fertilizer down, we would put it on that. It just won't get anything interseeded or any kind of crazy cover crop stuff. So, but this line of corn here is going to be in beans next year, and as you can see, the corn's still on, so I don't know. I wish I had somebody here to drive my truck, because I would stand on the bed of the truck and like overseed the rye into this just to do it. I'm not drilling it because the combine's broke down. I have it in the barn and the 4010 is behind it, so I can't drill it. And it is November, what is it, November 4th. So it's getting late in the year, so I'm gonna just broadcast it and it does what it does. And I'm also gonna try, I have these deer food plot seeds that Dad obviously forgot about in the barn. They're God knows how old, but they are a wintergreen. They're just a turnip of some sort. And they're supposed to be planted, if you want to use them for the food plot, they should be planted. Let's see. Where's zone 10 there? July 15th to September 15th. And it says for optimal production, plant at least 50 days before the first frost. We've already had the first frost. So, yeah, here's, what do we got? It is a forage kale. 2 different kinds of forage kale. A rape, a turnip, another rape, more kale, purple top turnip. Yeah, so there's what's in it. If the camera will focus on it. So I'm just going to broadcast that out. If it comes up, it comes up. If it don't, it don't. And there's my bag of rye. Now I grew, harvested, and cleaned this rye myself. It was the cover that I put down at the pond field before the soybeans. I decided to just combine it all. I drove through the soybeans and everything, and I got shoot, I can't remember, but it was like It wasn't quite a ton. It was like 1,500, 1,700 pounds of rye, and I sold all of it but what I needed, and I'm not even going to get to put it all out this year because I was going to plant this whole field over here in rye cover for soybeans, but this might be the only bag I get put out. So let's we're going to use this hand seeder or walk behind seeder, and then I got the little hand seeder for spreading them, and see what I can get into the corn rows. So let's get this going. It's starting to get dark. I'm screwing around making videos here. So a whole 75 pounds fits in there. Now I don't know how I need this thing set up to put this out at like 60 pounds to the acre, but I do know that this bag is just more than enough to do. I'm doing 4 strips. There's 6. I don't know why I'm not doing the one corn. I can't remember why now. I don't remember why I wasn't going to do the one, but we're only going to do the one corn row. And you know, I need to leave a control for the oats, so maybe that's what it was. I was going to do the 2 corn and leave the one, do a control for the oats and the corn. So I might switch out the oats later on. I don't know. We'll see what my brain can come up with. And it's a scary thought, because when I initially thought about doing this plot, my brain would run like 400 mile an hour, which is about 600 mile an hour faster than my wallet can go. So yeah, but I need to. This is a forage strip that's going to corn. Okay, I'm talking out loud, thinking out loud here. I gotta mark my strips out and get them seeded. Okay, so I did 2 oat strips. I did this one and the next one. The one on that end we'll leave for the control. That end we're leaving for the control for the corn. So the 2 end fields, the strips of 3, we're gonna leave for controls of some sort. I gotta think more about it. This was just an idea I had on my way over here. So that was 75 pounds. I did 2 strips. I think I put it down a little heavy. I think about 5 on my seeders, about right. I had it started off at 6, went down to 5, bumped it up to 5.5. I think 5's about right. We'll see what it looks like when it comes up, if it comes up. So now I'm only going to do the 1 corn strip because I don't feel like walking down all that corn. This is not going to be fun because I'm going to have to take it out of here, put it in that little hand seeder, and probably have to do that twice. So let me get that done because that's going to take a hot minute. Okay, so I got it put into the corn. I just kind of walked down the side, pointing the seeder into the rows. There for a little bit I did walk down the middle, but then the remnants of the mare's tail was overpowering. So that was pretty much that whole little seeder. I managed to work it out to where I could walk down both sides, and it worked out good. Now I didn't think about this earlier, but I should have figured out how many pounds per strip I needed. It's just a little over an acre worth of strips for 4 strips. So I didn't do the math to figure out how many pounds for each strip that would be. I just did the acreage because I usually do 60 pounds of the acre for my rye for cover, but it works out to just over 15 pounds per strip, and that's probably about what I had in that little seeder. But all that seed I had should have done 4 strips, and I only did 3, so it's a little heavy, but that doesn't hurt. I don't think it shouldn't hurt. So something, a shoe, or the bottom of a shoe. So we'll see how that does. Now for these turnips and stuff, I'm not going to screw with the corn, I don't think. Okay, I'll probably broadcast some into the corn. I'm gonna do I'm probably gonna do half of this strip. We're gonna do half of the corn strip with that stuff. We're going to do a bean strip, an existing soybean strip, and we'll do one of the old oat strips that we put rye into. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. And I don't know what I'm going to put that out to. It's going to be a very small amount though. So, yeah, we're going to do that corn, this bean, that oat. These two right next to each other. So, for reference when I go to remember what we did. Or maybe, let's do every other one. That corn, that bean, that oat. Because that oat also has rye in it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. This stuff would have a recommendation. It doesn't say how thick the plant is. Planting. We're spilling it. It's got holes in it. The mice chewed it up. Oh, what do we got here? Soil. Rate of 6 pounds per acre. And this is 12 pounds. So it's enough for 2 acres. That's 6 pounds of the acre. But I don't have any settings, so we're going to do half of it won't grow, I'm sure. Here we go. Okay, so in conclusion, this is how this field is going to end 2023 and go into 2024. So this is the corn on the far east side by the buffer strip. The corn, the forage strip, and the bean strip. Nothing done. This corn strip, the second one, nothing done. This forage strip, I ended up seeding the turnip mix down through here, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to seed rye through here just in case I end up using a no-till planter next year. We'll see what it's like no-tilling into some rye and turnips. This soybean strip, nothing done. This corn strip, rye and turnips. This forage strip, nothing done. This bean strip has turnip mix on it. This oat strip has rye on it. This forage strip, that was the oat strip. This forage strip, nothing done. This bean strip, nothing done. This oat strip, rye and turnips, Yes. Let me think. Did I put turnips on here? I did four things of turnips. How many am I at? I did that forage, corn, beans, and oats. So maybe I didn't put oats on, or I don't think I put turnips on this one. No turnips on this one, just rye. Forage strip, nothing done. This bean strip, nothing done. And then from this oat strip right here over, that's our control, nothing done. So that's how this field's going to end 2023, and we'll see what happens to it in 2024. So I need to go about this a little bit better, because I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. You can probably tell in the video how many times I've changed my mind. And I never thought of the idea before, but treating each set of 3 like its own field, that's a good thing to help manage it by. Because I was treating each row kind of like its own field, or that was my plan anyways. But I think we'll do each set of 3 is its own field, and you're getting 3 years worth of rotation, 3 years worth of rotational information done in 1 year. So yeah, so for the control ones, that'll be pretty easy to do for the corn and beans. They'll just get planted, fertilized, sprayed, that kind of deal. And the forage strip, I don't really have anything for the forage strip, because the forage strips kind of have to be a definite thing for what I want to use them for, running livestock of all different sorts down through it. So maybe we'll just do some different mixes. I don't really need a control, I guess, for the forage mix, for the forage strips rather. So it'll mainly just be for the corn and beans. Now I would like to try to maybe throw in wheat and double crop scenario, but I haven't come up with a good way to go about that. I like having the three strips of corn and like the 3 strips of oats. But I have more bean possibilities to monkey around with than corn and oats. Now I'm only doing the oats because those can be feed for said livestock, because ideally I want this whole venture here to be self-sufficient in a way. Over winter you necessarily can't graze stuff, so I want the corn and the oats to be able, I want it to make enough to feed whatever livestock it'll support through the summer, whether it be cows, chickens, goats, sheep. The headlands on each end will be planted into a hay mix that I can bale, and I could even do that with some of the forage strips. I'm thinking next year the forage strips are going to be oats and alfalfa and clover. And then of course they'll just get sprayed off and planted into corn or oats the following spring. But that's what I'm thinking with those, and we could try some fun cover crop mixes and try to graze those too even, and see how they affect stuff. So maybe I'm gonna have to look into it to see what the control forage strips could be. Maybe they'll just be like a basic hay mix, something ordeal, something you would normally put into a field. Instead of having it in there for 5 years, though, it'll just be in there for a year. But that's something to think about over winter. You guys can help me brainstorm. I want this to be a community effort. I don't want it to just be me out here just running around like a lunatic. So if you guys have any thoughts, suggestions, by all means drop them in the comment section, because I want you guys to be a part of this too. It can be knowledge for the Commonwealth, I guess. Now this ground is sandy, so results may vary, obviously. But yeah, there's the regenerative plot for 2023, and when I do get the corn off, eventually I'll let you know how that goes. And I'm thinking for the corn next year, I want to try raising some I can't think of the word right now, heritage varieties of corn. There's like Trucker's Favorite, like Jimmy Red Corn would be one, Bloody Butcher corn, but there's yellow varieties. There's one, a Tommy something, I think, but I think this is where I want to try to grow those. If I'm going to feed them to livestock, you know, that'll be a more non-GMO. And you guys can say what you want. I don't care either way of non-GMO, but it's a more old, healthy. I don't know if it's more healthier. It really doesn't matter to me, but I just kind of want to raise that just to raise it, because it looks all kinds of crazy. It gets ears, you know, like a foot long and everything. But yeah, before I ramble on too much more, we'll call this a video and catch you guys on the next one.